What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? How you guys doing? Broncos Country, what's up, man? It is exciting time of the year. Today is the first, well, really the second day of rookie minicamp. We had a nice little press conference from head coach Sean Payton. A lot of really great things to unfold and to unravel from the rookie minicamp, man. But it's been awesome to get the ball rolling. The offseason always kind of seems to be so short. It really doesn't seem like there's much of an offseason. Obviously, after tomorrow's workout, there'll be a couple weeks until there's the OTAs begin, and then we do that for a few weeks, couple phases of that, and then you look into doing training camp. Close to the right around July, in mid to late July. So a couple news on the rookie front. Looks like Bo Nix, as you guys have all known, I've been kind of waiting for what number is he going to wear. I was kind of feeling him wearing the number one. I thought that would have been really cool, but I always kind of knew ultimately he was going to end up with number 10. And it was a classy move by Zach Wilson to give it to him. Obviously, I don't think Zach Wilson really has any kind of allegiance to that number. So go get your Bo Nix jerseys, guys, if you want it. That's official. He ain't changing that number. But a couple other guys might be. I think Troy Franklin got 16. Audric Estime got 37, which I called that one, by the way. Doesn't really matter. It's just a number, but called that. Chris Abrams Drain got number 31. There was a little bit of, oh my gosh, he took Justin Simmons' number. Guys, it's a number. He's probably going to end up wearing like 25 or something completely different, anyways. So we'll see how that ends up turning up. And then Devon Vele got 81. He is the new Tim Patrick, right? And some more on him coming later. And then 66 for Gargulo, 52 for Ellis. Anyways, a lot of these numbers are subject to change, but it was great to see these guys out there. It was great to see some pictures, man. It's a new era in Denver Broncos country, and I'm super excited about it. Whether you were a fan of Bo Nix before we drafted him, or you weren't a fan of the draft pick, or whatever your opinion is on it, it's totally fine. But you've got, as a Bronco fan, you got to be excited that it's a new era, and you got to be excited to look at what's to come. And all the reports that came out today, they said, Bo Nix looked sharp. He was accurate. He was throwing the ball well. Not going to blow any of that out of proportion. If it was a bad day, I wouldn't blow it out of proportion. If it was a good day, I wouldn't do either. But also, it's always a good thing to hear positive things, instead of negative. And so a lot of things from the Sean Payton presser that was really interesting and that I really liked about is, I'm not sure who it was, but they asked about Bo Nix taking taking snaps under center rather than in the shotgun, which is something that he's done a lot of in his college career, obviously, like most college quarterbacks do. And I was really fascinated by that transition, something that I had talked about in the episode we did with David and with Jeremy, where we said, I think that's the one thing that's going to be a really big transition for him going from college to the NFL, is how is he going to, you know, make that transition from going under center a lot more often. Now, that doesn't mean that he's not going to be in the shotgun, right? I mean, I think Sean Payton, his offense, it's evolved. Last year it really evolved with Russ under center, and so they did a lot of shotgun, and there'll be times where he does a lot of shotgun. But what was interesting about his answer is he talked about Bill Walsh and how Bill Walsh would talk about this transition being something that you got to coach, where a 5-step drop in a hitch or a 7-step drop in a hitch is going to translate into maybe a 3-step drop in a hitch when you're in the gun. So just doing those calculations. So essentially, if you're in the shotgun and you do a 3-step drop, a hitch, and a throw, it's going to be equivalent to essentially being under center and doing a 5-step drop, a hitch, and a go. So just from a timing standpoint of being able to get into that, and so really just thinking about it that simply, that it's just a simple calculation, it makes it a lot easier to be able to make that transition. Now there's gonna be some reps and stuff that need to be taken, but I'll be interested to see how that flows and how he looks under center in comparison to Jared Stidham, in comparison to Zach Wilson, side by side with each other in camp, really seeing, guys that have done it in the league, and then, versus a rookie, and to kind of gauge where he's at there. But by all means, everything else looked good. One of the stars of the camp, I know I listened to Cecil and Andrew Mason earlier today. Sorry, it's been a day. My bad, I'm a little brain foggy. But Cecil and Andrew Mason earlier, and they had talked about Devon Vele being one of the guys that really popped and really started to show a lot of things. They said he's very, very big receiver and he's extremely fluid and he's got impressive type of speed. Listen, guys, I know they're going up against tryout guys, other undrafted rookies that are, raw and in the same position. But those are kind of things that you got to start to pay attention to. Somebody like Devon Vele is really showing those. Let's keep an eye on that. Let's basically stash it away. You put a tab on it, and you see, okay, how is this going to translate as we get into the workouts with the whole team there? How is he going to be looking when he's going up against Pat Surtain, against Riley Moss, against Damari Mathis? Those kind of guys. Levi Wallace. So that's going to be an interesting note to take. And one of the guys that I've always been really high on, you guys know, was Blake Watson. I wanted the Broncos to draft him. I'm super happy that we were able to get him undrafted. But either way, I really wanted him because he's got a lot of Alvin Kamara. Now, it's never fair to compare guys. You never want to be like, oh, Blake Watson is going to be the new Alvin Kamara. But it was funny because he was asked that exact question. Of course, it was by Cecil because that's his guy too. He had asked about the comparisons with Kamara, and he said, "Listen, I don't want to make a comparison to, what Kamara said, or like, what Kamara versus Blake Watson." But he had talked about some of the things that he was really surprised about is when they drafted Kamara in the 4th round when he was in New Orleans. One of the main traits and one of the fits that they saw was his ability to catch the ball out of the backfield, right? Which obviously, and Cecil said this in the question, that Blake Watson and I can't remember the name of the guy. Basically, it was Bo Nix's running back at Oregon. Those are the only two guys that had 50 plus catches as a running back in FBS, the entire FBS. So that's a big green flag, right? That's something that you like to see. Is like, okay, that's a big positive because anybody that's ever been following Sean Payton's offense knows the running back catching out of the backfield is incredibly imperative. And I cannot tell you guys, I don't want to read back to the past, but there was so many situations last year where Russ either A, did not see the running back, or B, missed it. Like he literally he missed the screen pass or a swing pass out of the backfield. So there's going to be a lot of those. But this is always where that backfield, the way that it's set up now, has been confusing because you've got Estime and Javonte who are bullies. And I'm telling you guys, Audric Estime is going to be a stud. You are going to love the way that this dude plays. I really got a good feeling about him. But you got those two guys that are really, really physical, power type running backs. And they can catch the ball, but they're not by any means known as pass catching running backs. They're not going to be the most elusive out of the backfield when it comes to running routes. And then you got Jaleel McLaughlin and Blake Watson, who are those burners. They are those elusive guys that catch the ball to the backfield. Blake Watson can probably catch the ball better than Jaleel McLaughlin can. But what Jaleel has shown is that he can run through the tackle too. And so that's something that was interesting that Sean Payton had said was that, when you one of the things that they looked at when they drafted Kamara was his incredible ability to catch the ball out of the backfield. And then it wasn't until they got him into camp and they saw him in the preseason where they're like, damn, this dude can run through the tackles and he can be multidimensional. And so that's something to look at is where's Blake Watson going to be at? The thing that Blake Watson's got going for him is that he is bigger in stature than Jaleel McLaughlin. So the thing about Jaleel was that he was, really small and skinnier. He was like, 180, so 175, 180 pounds, 5'9" or 5'8". So it's like he didn't really have the physical stature to be a full-time 3-down back. And he was going to struggle a little bit in pass pro, which all, most rookie running backs do. But Blake Watson at 5'9", 195, closer to 200, he's a bigger guy. He's got the frame to be able to be a 3-down back if he can be good in pass pro and pick up the offense and all that. So he's got a little bit more of that upside, I would say, in terms of being that a little bit more in a full-time role, because that was one of the things I think that hindered Jaleel McLaughlin getting on the field last year was that he struggled in pass pro and how many hits could he take, even though his durability was pretty damn impressive. But the guy is a really, really good pass catching running back. He's elusive when he runs through the tackles, at least in college. So I'm excited to see how he goes, how he looks. Otherwise, it wasn't too much. Obviously, I know the media right now, they can't really, the media members can't talk about a lot of the plays that they saw or get into specifics. But Frank Crum is obviously somebody I'm going to be really excited to keep tabs on. It was nice to see Jonah Ellis out there. I'd like to see how he plays during camp and how he progresses. And he's got that crazy. He can be the alpha dog in the pass rushing room. Um, you know, most definitely. But it's an exciting time of a year, guys. If there's any other reports or anything that you guys saw that you're curious about, or maybe that you just wanted to talk about, I'd love to see it in the comments. But if you haven't, like the video, comment on the video. And if you haven't already, a subscription, hit that subscribe button. It'd be really helpful for the channel. I'm on a mission to try to get to 500. I think we'll really start picking up a lot of steam once we get into the Broncos stuff. But until then, I'm not going to leave you all hanging. I'm going to keep making these videos because I genuinely just love doing it. And I'd love to have others, other fans and other people here locally or abroad join me whenever. We're going to be talking a lot of Avs and a lot of Nuggets as well, like we have been. So that being said, Avs game tonight. Let's get this win. It's a nice home game. I'm excited for it. I'm optimistic. So my Avs and Stars prediction for today is 5-2 Avs. I think that they're going to really come out, put it on them, and maybe get a couple empty netters or an empty netter at the end to make it 5-2. So that's my prediction there. But feeling really optimistic about this team. And I put a video yesterday about the Nuggets. Round of applause. Well done. Way to respond. Way to respond, guys. Way to remind everybody who the champs are. And let's go get game 4 and make this a series. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your evening. Take care of yourselves. And catch y'all on the flip side. Peace out.